Thank you, President Zabrowski, Chairman Knight, trustees, faculty, and you amazing class of 2014. It is such an honor for me to be addressing you today on this most important occasion, your commencement, which is not the end, as you know, but your beginning. You are prepared and ready to go forward, and we believe, that you will change the world. Soak up this day. Take lots of pictures. You will never look as good as you look today, except maybe on your wedding day. And take a good look at the robes that you are wearing and the robes that we are wearing. This is the only thing that you will get today that will still fit you in 40 years. Since I have arrived on this beautiful campus, I have observed that this campus, this university, is not just a place, but also an idea, an inspiration, the carrying forth of a vision. There is a spirit here. It is tangible, as you know. You should be very proud that you are about to graduate from Southern Virginia University, an experiment in excellence, in values-based education, indeed, an institution of higher learning. And I mean that in the sense that you have been tutored in all that is uplifting, moral, and ennobling to the human character. I hope that you will pass that on to the world. I don't believe that it's by chance that you've come to this point of commencement. It has been made possible by your hard work, your goal setting, your determination, and the hand of heaven. I'm here because of you. I may very well be, beside your parents, your biggest fan. Because you see, I know who you are. I know who you were and have always been. You are a generation of destiny. You are a pivotal generation. You are not ordinary. You have a great work to do in one of the most extraordinary times in the history of our civilization. There is the greatest opposition there has ever been to righteousness, but there is also the greatest opportunity ahead for you. You are smarter, you're better thinkers, and I'm observing that you're better looking than any other generation. You are born leaders, and you have a great future. You've been reserved and prepared to be on the earth at this particular time, and that is not by chance that you have been prepared and brought here to Southern Virginia University. Today, I join with your parents and all those seated on the stand in commending you for your accomplishment. Years ago, a Tanzanian runner named John Stephen Akwari crossed the finish line in an Olympic marathon 4 hours after the marathon began. He was in last place. It took him over 4 hours to complete the race because he had fallen and injured his knee and his shoulder, but he kept on running. When he entered the stadium, the crowd burst into applause as he crossed the finish line. He had completed a heroic effort, and everyone recognized that fact. When John Stephen Akwari was interviewed by reporters and asked why he hadn't just dropped out of the race when he knew that he couldn't win a medal in the Olympics, his reply embodies the message that I want to leave with you today. He said simply, "My country did not send me 5,000 miles to enter the race. My country sent me 5,000 miles to finish the race." And if you don't remember anything else today, I hope you will remember these words. The race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but to those who endure to the end. President Monson once taught, "The lust for power, greed of gold, and disdain of one's honor have ever appeared as faces of failure in the panorama of life. Captivated by their artificial attraction, many noble souls have stumbled and fallen, thus losing the crown of victory reserved for the finishers of life's great race." Don't stumble, don't fall. Keep your perspective and the values that have been integrated into your soul while you've been here at Southern Virginia University. Now today we meet in front of the historic main hall to bid goodbye to all the things that you have become familiar with and come to know and love, and to begin a new journey, a very personal journey in the world that awaits you. I would like to speak about some of the distinguishing marks of those who complete life's race successfully, for you are standing at the starting line of the great marathon called life. You have a first-class education from a first-class school. You are prepared, and so you need not and cannot live an ordinary life. Each of you has an appointment with destiny. In the movie Chariots of Fire, you all know the moving story of Eric Liddell, who was a gold medal winner in the 1924 Paris Olympics in the 400-meter track event. Liddell was not only a gifted athlete, but he held to his convictions, and he lived out his faith to the very end as a Christian missionary in China. He was such an incredible athlete that his goal was to get the gold in France in the 100-meter race. He trained hard to get in top shape, and his country of Scotland was sure that he would win the gold medal, but there was just one problem. President Zabrowski said, "Don't be scared if the train comes through during the middle of your talk." But I have to tell you, it just scared me to death. There was one problem that Liddell had, because the heat to qualify to run in the 100-meter dash was held on a Sunday, and Liddell would not run on Sunday. And so he decided instead, due to this conflict, that he would qualify himself in the 200 and the 400-meter dash. But no one expected that he would win because he hadn't trained for those events. Just prior to his running in the 400-meter race, an American handed Eric Liddell a note, and on it was written a scripture from 1 Samuel. It said, "God saith, they who honor me, I will honor." Liddell ran that race that day with that piece of paper held tight in his hand, and that promise held tightly in his heart. And to everyone's surprise, he won the gold medal and broke the world record. Listen to what he said in the speech that he gave after he won the gold medal. He said, "You came here to see a race today, to see someone win. It happened to be me. But I want you to do more than just watch a race. I want you to take part in it. I want to compare faith to running in a race. It's hard. It requires concentration of will, energy of soul. You experience elation when the winner breaks the tape, especially if you've got a bet on it. But how long does that last? You go home. Maybe your dinner's burnt. Maybe you haven't got a job. So who am I to say, believe, have faith in the face of life's realities? I would like to give you something more permanent, but I can only point the way. I have no formula for winning the race. Everyone runs in his or her own way. And where does the power come from to see the race to its end? From within. From within. The first mark of those who complete life's marathon successfully is within you. So be loyal to the royal that is within you. You are set apart from the world. You are sons and daughters of God. You have a divine nature and destiny. You are the generation who has been reserved and prepared to be on the earth now. You have a great work to do. Knowing who you are and whose you are will determine all your actions, decisions, associations, and aspirations. The second mark of a successful participant is to determine your purpose. Renowned Harvard professor and innovation expert Clayton Christensen observed that his best and brightest students became successful by applying the principles that they had learned in their college courses in their work settings. But they failed to apply those same principles of success to their own personal lives. In a graduation speech that he delivered at Harvard, he offered a series of guidelines for finding meaning and happiness in life. He used examples from his own experiences to explain how achievers can all too often fall into traps that lead to unhappiness. The speech was memorable. And so, always remember to apply these principles you have learned in your very own homes and in your very own lives, as has been mentioned. Determining your purpose starts with asking the question, why? Not how or what. The why is the doctrine based on eternal truth. So when you tell people why you believe, or why you are doing something, or why you have created or developed a certain product, knowing the why inspires them. The why is your core purpose. Endeavor to build on that core purpose. Endeavor to determine personally what your core purpose is. And try to build a resume that tells not only what you have accomplished, but why. Once you determine why or your core purpose, then the third mark of success is never give up. In the words of the poem my grandfather taught me, stick to your task till it sticks to you. Beginners are many, enders are few. Honor, power, place, and praise will come in time to the one who stays. Stick to your task till it sticks to you. Bend at it, sweat at it, smile at it too. For out of the bend and the sweat and the smile will come life's victories after a while. People who achieve greatness stick to their task. They don't give up. They strive for continual improvement. This improvement can only be accomplished by what experts call deliberate practice. This means very specific goals, repetition, and then evaluation. It means constantly pushing yourself to do more than what you think you're capable of doing. And as you repeat that which is hard, it will come easier through deliberate practice. Now, the fourth marker for success is to be a hill seeker. Let me explain to you what that means. One day, my husband and I were out running together, which is usually not a good idea because I'm competitive and he's faster than I am. We started up a hill, and I was elated because running up hills sometimes gives me a bit of an advantage. But this day, Steve ran like a gazelle. And I found myself slower and slower and further behind him and in total oxygen debt. And so, not wanting to be found out or to be outdone, I just called to him, "I think I'll go back to the car now." And I turned around and headed back down that hill. To my surprise, Steve showed up right by my side, grabbed my hand, and he said, "Elaine, don't quit now. We're almost to the top." He flipped me around and he said, "Come on, I'll run with you. I'll help you." And together we ran to the top of that hill that day. I pushed forward, and when we reached the top, we enjoyed the most exquisite view I have ever seen. And I enjoyed the elation of knowing that I can do hard things. And I really enjoyed the downhill run to the car. That day, I learned a very important lesson. Never make a decision to turn back or to quit when you're on a hill. Since that day, I have learned to look at hills as opportunities. So, be a hill seeker. And besides, what's so great about flat? Flat hair? Flat tires? Flat returns? Flat lines? Life happens on the hills. Hills are opportunities to prove ourselves and to prove to ourselves that we are really a lot stronger than we think we are. And remember, if you never attempt the ascent, you will never know the thrill of running down the other side. The fifth mark of success is to learn from your mistakes. At some point in this marathon of life, you're bound to stumble. When you do, remember there's no such thing as failure. It is just life trying to move you in another direction. Feel bad, and then learn from every mistake and move forward. Every experience that you have is there to teach you and to move you into being more of who you really are. You all are familiar with this quote from Winston Churchill. I love what he says because it is so motivating. He says, it's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man or the woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Last, be happy. Celebrate. Be happy now. Don't wait till some distant time when you have everything and everything is in order. In my experience, that will probably never come. Celebrate the small things. Enjoy the daily training and the race itself. Challenges will come into your lives at times. Be faithful. Look to your Lord for his strength. And when you feel too weak to carry your burdens, look to the actions of others for inspiration. The story is told of 9 contestants who participated in another Olympic run. This was the Special Olympics, and it was held in Seattle, Washington. Each of these participants, these 9 contestants, were physically or mentally disabled, and they assembled at the starting line for the 100-yard dash. At the gun, they all started out with a relish for running the race and finishing and winning. All except, that is, one little boy who stumbled on the asphalt, tumbled over a couple of times, and began to cry. The other 8 heard the boy cry. They slowed down and looked back. And then an amazing thing happened. They all turned around and went back. Every single one of them. One little girl with Down syndrome bent down and kissed him and said, "This will make everything all better." Then all 9 linked arms, and together they walked to the finish line. Everyone in that stadium that day stood and cheered, and the cheering went on for several minutes. People who were there are still telling the story. Why? Because deep down we know that what matters in this life is more than winning for ourselves. What matters in this life is helping others win, even if it means slowing down or changing our course. The marathon of life teaches us that we will achieve happiness when we seek the happiness and well-being of others. I believe that each of you, as I have said, will change the world. That is why you are here now at this magnificent time of opportunity. Your future is so bright. And as the scripture says of you, you will be the means of doing much good in this generation. And so, at this time of commencement, I hope that when you are asked how you are, you will respond that you are happy and inspired more than at any other time in your life. I hope you will believe that you can and are making a difference. I hope that you will know that you can do hard things. I hope that you will have the courage to chase your dreams and in the process inspire others to chase theirs. I hope that you will courageously stand for what you believe and endeavor to inspire others to follow your example. I hope that you will give your light in every setting and always endeavor to lift the spirit of others who will reflect your light to another and another. Indeed, my hope and my prayer for each of you is that somehow in this world you will not be discouraged, distracted, delayed, or disqualified from this great marathon of life, and that you will press forward to the finish following our Savior, Jesus Christ, who has marked the course and led the way, always aligning your life with his example. For in this marathon of life, you do not run alone. He is always there. He will strengthen you. He will enable you, and he will lead you by the hand. I testify that this is true. In your personal marathon, be loyal to the royal within you. Determine your purpose. Never give up. Be a hill seeker. Learn from your mistakes and be happy. Celebrate each moment. And today and always, may you remember this prophetic promise. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up as wings with eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Run into this magnificent future that is before you. Congratulations to the excellent class of 2014 graduating from Southern Virginia University this day. I salute you.